Good afternoon, dear students. The theme of today's lecture is Aspects of Translation Process. We'll consider today one question, that is a notion of a model, and its types, the situational model and the semantic transformational model. Description of the translating process is one of the major tasks of the translation theory. Here we deal with the dynamic aspects of translation, trying to understand how the translator performs the transfer operation from ST to TT. Psychologically viewed, the translating process must needs include two mental processes, understanding and verbalization. First, the translator understands the contents of ST, that is, reduces the information it contains to his own mental program, and then he develops this program into TT. The problem is that these mental processes are not directly observable, and we do not know much of what that program is and how the reduction and development operations are performed. That is why the translating process has to be described in some indirect way. The translation theory achieves this aim by postulating a number of translation models. What is model? A model is a conventional representation of the translating process describing mental operations by which the source text or some part of it may be translated. It may describe the translating process either in a general form or by listing a number of specific operations or transformations through which the process can in part be realized. Translation models can be oriented either toward the situation reflected in the ST contents or toward the meaningful components of the ST contents. The existing models of the translating process are, in fact, based on the same assumptions which we considered in discussing the problem of equivalence, namely the situational model is based on the identity of the situations described in the original text and in the translation, and the semantic transformational model postulates the similarity of basic notions and nuclear structures in different languages. These postulates are supposed to explain the dynamic aspects of translation. In other words, it is presumed that the translator actually makes a mental travel from the original to some interlingual level of equivalence and then further on to the text of translation. In the situational model, this intermediate level is extralinguistic. It is the described reality, the facts of life that are represented by the verbal description. The process of translation presumably consists in the translators getting beyond the original text to the actual situation described in it. This is the first step of the process, that is the breakthrough to the situation. The second step is for the translator to describe this situation in TL. Thus, the process goes from the text in one language through the extralinguistic situation to the text in the other language. The translator first understands what the original is about and then says the same thing in TL. For example, let's take the word moon. When the translator or interpreter hears or sees this word, he first tries to understand what it is. Then, second step, he refers to extralinguistic situation. if it is moon in the sky and something like that, then he or she finds its equivalence in the target language and gives a translation at the end. Another example, the table is on the wall. Here the word table has different equivalents in the target language. The translator's task is here to understand what is table. Table has different translations. It may be стол or расписание, таблица. Second task is here to choose one of the variants. For that, the translator refers to extra-linguistic situation. If he takes the word table as стол, it is seen that it cannot be hung on the wall. That's why he takes here other variants, таблица or расписание. So he translates it as таблица or расписание висит на стене. Let's consider the following example. The translator reads in Cronin's Citadel the description of the main character coming by train to a new place of work. Manson walked quickly down the platform, searching eagerly for some signs of welcome. He tries to understand what reality lies behind the words searching eagerly for some signs of welcome. The man was alone in a strange place and couldn't expect any welcome committee or deputation. Obviously, he just wanted to see whether anyone was there to meet him. So, the translator describes the situation in Russian in the following way. Мэнсон быстро прошел по перрону, оглядываясь, не встречает ли его кто-нибудь. The situational model is used in the following cases. First, in translation of equivalent lacking words. For example, he's okay. У него все хорошо. Second, when the choice of a variant is determined by the situation. Wet paint. Осторожно, окрашено. Third, when the translation of the original is impossible without clearing out the aspects of the described situation, which are not found in the meaning of the units used in a statement. For example, my sister is happy. Моя сестра довольна, счастлива, рада. The translating process may be described as a series of transformations. The transformational model postulates that in any two languages there is a number of nuclear structures which are fully equivalent to each other. Each language has an area of equivalence in respect to the other language. It is presumed that the translator does the translating in three transformational strokes. First, the stage of analysis. He transforms the original structures into the nuclear structures. That is, he performs transformation within SL. Second, the stage of translation proper. He replaces the SL nuclear structures with the equivalent nuclear structures in TL. And third, the stage of synthesis. He develops the latter into the terminal structures in the text of translation. Thus, if he comes across a sentence, John is the proud owner of a new car, The translator is first to realize that it actually means that John has a new car and that he is proud because of that. After transferring these basic ideas to Russian and converting them to the semantically acceptable phrases, he will get the translation. У Джона есть новая машина, которой он очень гордится. Another example. He's a poor sleeper. The translator sees that the attributive group cannot be directly transferred into Russian. He can find that the transformational model will do the trick for him here and transform the attributive group into a verb-adverb phrase. Он плохо спит. Thank you for your attention.